Previously on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures.
So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery.
Ooh, those are always fun.
In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
Okay, one of those.
Almost certainly with the ink from this upset
Oh.
bottle.
Ooh,
This
that's a
seal
cool
was
gun.
placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture.
Ooh, he got all the technology, doesn't he?
Herlock Sholmes.
Oh,
I presume
Herlock Sholmes, okay.
you must have heard of me.
Wait, I can't move. Oh, sleep paralysis? Don't you hate that? Oh, or that. Or I'm handcuffed. Ugh, what the? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Don't you find it funny being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? The culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. The cause of death is still undetermined. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. If you were to become a lawyer, then nothing. Forget it. I'll have plenty of time to tell you later. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Hiya! There's no way Hiya! Die! There's no way I can. Hiya! She gonna like. Ouch. Oh. Forgive me. I tend to jump to conclusions. You don't say. You have fled your native land of Russia. Being as you are a merciless revolutionary, you leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. What's he smoking? I don't know. Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia in Shanghai, via Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just two short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Now let us get back to the episode. Why? It's elementary, my dear Wilson. What's up, everybody? I'm the story-driven gamer, and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be playing more The Great Ace Attorney Adventures. So, in the last episode, we've been accused of murder. Again. I still don't know how I feel about that. Like, it's crazy that we are 2 cases in a row, not even just in the same game, but in a row. Case 1, case 2, I am accused. Although this time I think we're accused unofficially. So just to briefly recap, we are stowaways on a ship. Kazuma, who is the, our buddy that was murdered in this case, he wanted to take us to England. We don't know exactly why. I don't know if he wanted to maybe train us to be a lawyer. Maybe it might have to do with the mission he wants to, undertake. Maybe he wanted us to help him with that. I'm not sure. But we stowed away, so we've been hanging out in his room for I think it's 2 weeks. And when people are coming by or outside the room or whatever, Ryunosuke hides in the wardrobe. So right before Kazuma died, he hid in the wardrobe and passed out. I believe that he might have been drugged. Ryunosuke, that is, because I think he said as much. He said that he ate something, like ate dinner, and then, hopped in the wardrobe and then passed out. So somebody might have drugged him. That's my theory. Then he I guess, it was found out that Kazuma was dead. Our detective that we met in the last episode, Herlock Sholmes, investigated and found us passed out in the wardrobe. So naturally, that's suspicious. So now we've been investigating with our buddy Suzuto. Is that her name? I think so, right? I just want to double check. Still learning names. Suzuto, yeah. Suzuto, she's not very friendly with us, understandably, because she was Kazuma's assistant at the law office or whatever, so, and she thinks we did it. So, naturally she won't be too keen on helping us or working with us, but she is. And I think she's going to be our new Maya for this game, that's my guess. And yeah, we haven't made it out of this room yet. This is the room we started the episode in, and we're still here. But we did run into this guy. You might recognize him from the last case. Oh gosh. Sorry, what was his name? Hosanaga? Hosanaga, yep. the police guy who was undercover as a waiter in that case. Now he's undercover as a Russian sailor in this one. So we're going to talk to him. One thing I remembered after recording that I can do, I was trying to present evidence and stuff to people, but I forgot. Oh wait, hang on, maybe not. Never mind. I guess in this game, I remember in past games you could present character profiles, but I guess not in this game. Okay. I'm trying to think, should I maybe start there? Should I start presenting him things? See if he... see if he has anything else to add or say? Yay, finally! Inspector, can I show you this? What the? Is that a fabled Imperial Yume University pin badge? It is. You like? I'm not sure it's really fabled exactly, but... So, you're a genuine student then. Sorry? Nothing like me with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say? Can I have my badge back, please? I regret showing you anything. What do you have to say about this paper seal? This is the paper seal that was stuck over the wardrobe this morning, isn't it? That's right. Try to stop the cabin steward opening it up and discovering me. Wouldn't it have been better to write it in English if you didn't know Russian? Maybe, but Ofuda paper amulets like this are a part of our culture, Inspector. And I thought if I make it look creepy enough, people would be too scared to want to look inside. It isn't easy being a stowaway, is it? Nah. Okay, what do you have to say about the photograph? Have you seen this photograph yet, Inspector? Just the sight of it. Oh dear. Are you alright, Inspector? No. Yes, sorry. I'm fine. I was hoping to hide my upset with a fit of coughing and sputtering. I'm usually very good at it. Alright, don't tell me it's been an act this whole time, bud. But trying to stifle my feelings seems to have stifled my cough this time. It's all so sad. Sad, Suzuto. Asakuri-san was such a promising young man. The Empire had such high hopes for him. I had such high hopes for him, even though I'm just a detective. We're all going to miss you, Kazuma. Yeah, he was our buddy. We barely got to know him. Okay, let's just go through the evidence here. Can I show you this newspaper, Inspector? I'm sorry, but I can't read Russian very well. Oh no, that's alright. I know what it says. Do tell, do tell. So, you just wanted to point out your university-level linguistic talents? Is that it? I think we just established that I don't speak Russian. Sorry? Nothing like me with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Deja vu. Is that what you were trying to say? You a-hole. Sorry, I forgot I mentioned it. Forget I mentioned it. Now the article about the ballerina, which I believe is also in Russian. Can I show you this newspaper, Inspector? Oh, is it the same thing? Oh yeah, same thing. Blah blah blah. Do you plan on just shoving your Russian linguistics in my face? You are so full of yourself, Ryunosuke. I'm just trying to show you evidence. Leave me alone. Okay, and lastly, the diary. What's that? Oh, the music stopped. This is important. It's Kazuma's diary? Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? Also known as a vent. Yes. You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. That's nice. Alright then. Huh? I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove these handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last. Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Okay, I can still talk to you, right? Okay, good. Because I didn't talk to you about anything. Wait, that's not what I meant to do. Go back. Converse. Okay. What are your special orders? So, what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? It's a long story. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. Say what? It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. Okay. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? He was on some dangerous mission, man. I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector? Nah, you're good. So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. You can't... Well, you already kind of did help us. You let us go, so... I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. Did we talk about this already? I do feel like... I don't know. This guy... I like this guy a lot. I feel like I feel like he'll be important to the overall story. I still think there's something... There's got to be some story behind his coughing and coughing up blood. Like, maybe he's got... I don't know, some kind of illness. One thing I am hoping, though, I was talking about how, like, you know, like, I can't believe, we're the, you know, the accused again. But like I said, we haven't actually been picked up by authorities or anything. We're not, like, even in a specific country. So I'm hoping that, you know, we prove our innocence just by ourselves, like, on the ship. And then maybe we find evidence that incriminates, you know, somebody else. Maybe somebody we haven't met yet. Or maybe Sholmes or something, and then they become the defendant. I don't really know, though, because we're not a lawyer yet. So, I mean, I don't know what we can really do as far as defending a client, right? We'll see. So, lastly, I just want to double check the room because I think in the last episode they did imply that, like, there's other things we can look at now. It doesn't appear to be the case. I'll talk to you again. Okay, let me just check. Oh, was this here before? I'll check it now. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. That seems very uncomfortable. Ah, yes. I see it says, "This way up," in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Very painful. Oh dear. Being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. Yeah, those hurt. Sack up, Ryunosuke. Okay, let's go this way. Anything else? Okay, I still can't examine the bed. We are going to other room. Okay, we can't investigate that any further. Okay, I think we're good to go. I don't want to spend too much time because we've been in this room long enough. Oh yeah, I just want to talk to him again. Excuse me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside? No. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking prison guard to help me escape? Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Niet. You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay. All right. There's no point trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure. I promise you, and you've probably already heard just now, my Russian has not gotten any better since the last episode. Okay, I think we're good to go. So let us move to the first class passageway. The passageway that connects the first class cabins on the SS Buria. Yeah, first and foremost, we must get out of this cabin. Let's do it. Okay, so now we're just in the hallway. 9th of January, 7:48 a.m. SS Buria, first class cabin, passageway. Phew, I'm finally out of the cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-san was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really? That must be awful. It was a nice room. Oh, gosh. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. He looks buff. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs? Precisely. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. I have not left that room. Well, yes, I know. But the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. So I haven't had much time to sightsee. It must have been a very trying time for you. You can say that. Please don't give me that pitying look. Okay. So no one to talk to and anything. I guess let's examine everything first. Here's a map. Ship section. This looks like a plan of the SS Buria. It shows each deck, look. The Buria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but... how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how such giant land masses, just, stay afloat like that. Okay. Okay, now this looks important, whatever this is. What is it, like a manual? Ship manual? That's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it. Oh, maybe it's like a, what do you call it? Like a, like a registry? Like signing in who comes aboard the ship? Yeah, the ship log. Yes, that's the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing's so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. What you looking at? And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. I heard you. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san. Even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. You'd think there would be. A murder took place. Okay. Before we check out this area, let's... Anything of note over here? Oh. What's this? Is that a mousetrap? Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it's called. Cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese. I wonder what that tastes like. Ah, don't even get me started, Naruhodo. I love cheese. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But... I suppose you're right. But cheese... You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Cosmo's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. It must suck to be you, Naruhodo. I'll find a little snack for you later. Okay, so cheese is not something that exists. Or not common, I guess. Okay, here's an alarm. Fire alarm, probably. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship. And brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh my gosh. Oh. What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it. Hey-ya! But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. They'd make you walk the plank. I wish everything would just stop. This ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. You are making my life very difficult, Naruhodo-san. Okay. So here are the two doors. I don't want to go anywhere yet. Let's try talking to him. I don't think there's anything else I have to examine. Give my Russian accent another try. Oh my gosh, this guy is very big. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer. That wasn't a good start, was it? All right, let me try instead. I'll use my feminine wiles. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third-class ladies' maid. Yeah, nice try. Oh, boo. You seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Suzuto-san. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman Biff Stroganoff. Oh, I got that one right away. I was gonna make a joke and say, sounds like beef stroganoff, but I'm sure that's the intended pun. Biff Stroganoff. Phew. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Oh, now we can talk to you. Oh, great. Get to converse with a Russian dude. Because my accent is so great. First class cabin area. I guess let's start with that. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first class cabin area. Here we are in finest part of Borea steamship for very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens, traveling in secret, many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding these place. I have to remember the W sound like V's and TH sounds like Z, and oh my gosh. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in the ocean, but Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied? However you say that. Suzuro-san? Did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. No, it's definitely yes. I know it. I know that much. Actually, I don't know how you say no. I know da though is yes. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the passenger in the next door cabin, please. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? No. His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is a very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can we be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Cosmo's cabin the entire time, I never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there. Well, presumably, since the gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? Sounds like it. Keep talking, beef. That is not your business. Okay. Noted. What can you tell me about last night? Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da. All time. So criminals like you cannot come in. Or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And do you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Hit! Oh gosh. Don't punch me. Suzuro-san? Did you understand that? It was clearly no. Okay, so that's how you say no. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way? Oh, look at that look. He's looking bashful or suspicious. I said no. Sorry. Don't hurt me. Again. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. Oh. That it? This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second class area, staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as English say, when the pigs fly. Yes, I understand. Bye. Wait, we didn't even get to examine the other cabin yet. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Okay, we're gonna go ahead anyway. Definitely. Okay. I thought he was gonna make me go back. I was gonna actually try presenting him stuff, but I have a feeling he probably wouldn't have anything to say. Although, maybe he would have. I don't know. Okay, well. Anything else? Okay, now I can examine things a bit more thoroughly. I didn't even examine the doors yet. That's the way to the second-class area of the ship. Is something wrong? I was thinking about making a run for it. Just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Or a Gatling gun would blow you to smithereens. Yeah, I think I'll stay here, you know. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there? No, I started with my talk of running away. Silly me. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Yes, we gotta avenge our friend. Let me just examine the doors real quick and then I'll look at other things. Is this our cabin? First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's. You little stowaway. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way. 500 and... How many cabins are there? Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a lot of cabins. This must be a big ship. Huh. That wardrobe is smaller than Harry Potter's cupboard. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Oh no, we're going in? Knock knock. I don't want to go in yet. Oh, okay. No sound. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. That sucks. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. I don't know why I said that in Susador's voice. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside. Oh. I am about to break the... what voice did I give him? I just kind of gave him... I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes. I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. I thought he was in there. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Well, I want to re-examine that, book out there, but 9th of January, SS Buria, first class cabin number 2. Oh my gosh. Who are you? I don't know if he's Russian or he's an odd looking one. Wait, what's he holding? Is that a knife or a mini sword? Who are you? Okay, this is a Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. Okay, now they're giving me mixed signals here. Which is it? Should I give him like the voice at the beginning, giving all the other buff bearded looking guys the low voice, or stick to Russian? We heard a woman scream. Oh, scissors. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True. This old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylett, I believe. Yes, that's me. And you are? I am the one and only, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt? No. Get out. I am a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the cover of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid! How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. I was gonna say, that looks like half the size of the trunk I was in. Oh. I take it back. Oh my. Did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. The case just shook. Okay, step away. Leave, now. Otherwise I'll call the steward. So, this is Cosmo's neighbor. Mr. Grimsby Roylott. I wonder if... I don't know, like, he's very mysterious and, like, you can't really get a good look at him, right? Like, he has this big bushy beard, sunglasses, a big hat. You see very little of his face, so I wonder if... I don't know, there's something more about him than meets the eye. Like, he's in disguise himself, and maybe he's somebody else involved in this case. I don't know, we'll see. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. He is Russian. Oh, gosh. I'm gonna stick to my voice. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Okay, got some nice music going. Okay. Have you seen my badge? Mr. Roylott, what do you make of this? Listen, do you know I am wearing these dark glasses? No, not really. So I do not have to look at things I do not want to look at. Do you understand me? Roger Dodger. I wish I could point out that you can still see things even when wearing sunglasses. But his chilly air has frozen my lips shut. Okay. He probably doesn't have much to say about any of this. Oh, I stand corrected. Have you seen this before? I've never seen these strange letters before in my life. It says, keep out in Japanese. I haven't heard of that language. Seriously? Is the Empire of Japan really that insignificant to the world stage? On the world stage? Oh, Inosuke, if you only knew. Here in America, Japan's a big deal. 2021 Japan is full of weebs. Okay. Inosuke's like, what's a weeb? The word was written on the floor in ink next to where the man died, as if he wrote it in his last moments. It's Russian. It's Russian, isn't it? We believe it means wardrobe, is that right? Yes, that's right. Could you tell us how it's pronounced, please? Frablabach. Oh, that was pointless? It is very sad. Sorry? The steward told me he was a young man. Yes, he was my best friend. It's a terrible tragedy. We have this Russian newspaper here. I have the same newspaper in my cabin. Maybe they gave it to all first-class passengers. Well, neither of us speak a word of Russian, so we can't read it at all. See, like, I feel like I should be giving him some kind of Russian accent. I don't know. Maybe I could give him, like, the voice I'm giving him, but make it sound more Russian instead of more, like, British. Would you mind telling us what this article is about? I feel like no matter what, it's gonna sound British. If you do not speak Russian, you do not need to know what it is saying. Russia must be a cold, cold place. It is. I believe, right? It's pretty cold there. We have this Russian newspaper here. Okay, he's gonna say the same thing, right? Okay, and what about anything to say about this? Have you seen this? I don't know what it is. I can't read it. It's a travel diary written by the man who was killed. It's in Japanese. I haven't heard of that language. Seriously? Is the Empire... Oh, okay, wait, okay. Yes, we did read this too, I guess. Okay, before I talk to him, let's look around. Oh my gosh, really? You're just chilling? I'll talk to you last. Let's see what the door has to... What do you think you're doing? Ah! This is my cabin. Get out! Could we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps? No. What a pity. I think we're out of luck. I think you're right. There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylett. Okay. Yeah, so now... Okay, so we can't inspect anything. Oh, it is actually letting me inspect the bed. Unless we're looking at... Oh, maybe... No, maybe it's the wardrobe. Okay, you know what? Let's go back then. Let's talk to... That's not what I meant to click. Let's talk to him first. Unless he's not willing to talk either. Last night. Mr. Roylett, we'd like to talk to you about something. No. Oh. Okay. I do not want to talk. Leave my cabin now. Ugh. This is going terribly. Okay, yeah, I think... We're not getting anywhere here. I agree. Okay. Yes. Yes, let's talk to him. Fine, then. Let's go talk to Mr. Herlock Sholmes himself. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? I was napping. Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed. I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of deduction to service. Oh! I love you, Mr. Sholmes. And it would seem that the hour is upon us. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually. You're spot on this time. For once, exactly what I was thinking. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylett, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? No? Why? The truth, of course. Though it would be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right, okay. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh yes, please, please. Well then. What you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my greatest detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Show us what you made of, Mr. Holmes. Or Sholmes. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of the Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you. Or anyone. That's right. And Mr. Sholmes... I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read... It is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh. I must have complete silence. My controller's about to die. Oh well, hopefully it can last the episode. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? I feel like my accent is just like a combination of Russian and British. Ah, just as I thought, yes, I've quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylett, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What? What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Yeah. I am certainly thinking about it. I'm about to stab you. Are you not? He's not denying it. And number two, the other conclusion I've drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Admit it. Does it not? Oh, Naruhodo-san! I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes. Oh, he's so dreamy. That was a great deduction? Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. Nothing! In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What ineffable twaddle. Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true! I can hardly believe it, but all the color is drained from Mr. Roylett's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how is when I first arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Are we entering like some kind of mini-game or something? Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. Ooh, the great deduction. The game is afoot. Old man's identity. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylett, obviously what catches the eye in the first place, is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. This is cool. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylett? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Is he hiding behind it? Ah. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front page article. Which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylett. Oh, I didn't even notice that. But then again, half of his body is cut off by the screen. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. So you're saying he's Bolshevik or whatever? Villain? Bolshevik? I mean, that would make sense. He's also wearing the glasses. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik Flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article poses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. Oh, is this all true? You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself. Villain Bolshevik. What do you have to say to that? It'll be hilarious if he's just flat out wrong. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. A revolutionary on the run. Okay, topic 2. Wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing the most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. It's in the case. Oh yes, Mr. Roylet. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to lead their eyes astray, you see. Oh, did he like glance at it? And I assure you the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. There we go. The answer we may seek lies with the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse! What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps? One slight enough to fit therein? She'd have to be a very small lady. Don't be absurd! And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Is it the only other lady I can think of? Is it? It's not the lady in the magazine, is it? Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? You careless Q Doyle betrays you. I don't know if I said that right. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. That lady. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovitz Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Interesting. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Okay. Conclusion. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. Maybe she's younger than she looks. Maybe she is like a little kid, a kid. She looked kind of like a, early 20s maybe or something. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of the Russian enigma, Elemensky. That's what it's like, elementary? Elemensky, my dear Wilson. Oh, there's something I meant to say that I noticed, when editing my, it won't be my last video. I guess 2 videos ago. Is it, like, in this universe, his Watson is Wilson. Now, I don't know if it's coincidence that the professor that we, whatchamacallit, that was the murder victim in the first case wasn't he Dr. Wilson? I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. Or, I guess we would know if that was the Dr. Wilson, like his Dr. Wilson. But, I don't know, just something I noticed that was kind of odd. Okay. That was cool. Suzuto-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, Like I said, watch it's like all along, but that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes? Could you come over here a moment? Of course. Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. I thought that. Ah yes, I recall a discussion earlier, and at the time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. That doesn't even make sense. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylett does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you pushed really hard. I do wonder what's in there, though, because we saw it moving. It could be a pet. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. Okay, so she's younger than I thought, but still not that young. No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from that case. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case. I thought that when he was making his deduction, I'm like, that's the only way I could see her fitting in there. Is, you know, being a ballerina, if she could really, like, contort herself, but even that seemed very far-fetched. Oh dear. You might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. This whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. That it's full of crap? I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instantly, even if they're wrong most of the time. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Other than that, he's great. Your idea of maybe a little off itself, Miss Suzuto. It's just one or two keywords in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some keywords in his deductions. Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction. Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. Okay, so maybe this is where the gameplay mechanic comes in. I was wondering, because that seemed like a gameplay mechanic, but then he just kind of, you know, rattled off his theory, and then it was over. So I'm like, okay, that seemed like too cool of a display for that to just be like him rattling off this false conclusion and then being like, oh, we're done here. This man has a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. I'm so witty. It's not that funny. Calm down, Sholmes. Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? Oh, what the heck? What? Where are your handcuffs? Did you let me go? Huh? How did... I thought they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. I'm getting out of here, baby. I make a run for it. Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel. No, I prefer DC. I jest. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles on your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. Yeah, right. So, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Here we go. Oh, that's me. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. So what exactly do we have to do? So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylett, obviously what catches the eye in the first place, is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Okay. So that highlighted word we have to change? I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylet either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a keyword here, Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylet. I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on. Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? It's always me, isn't it? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylet really going to use those enormous shears for? Okay. Okay, well, not the beard. Oh, can I? Oh, okay. Does it even necessarily have to be on him? Oh, the hair? Oh, look at that. Yeah, you'd use it for, you couldn't actually see his hair, but yes, he's got... Wait a minute. Long blonde hair? What if... And I don't know how he's fooling us if that's the case. What if he is the ballerina? It's gotta be the locks. Okay.
Yes!
That would make sense. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love this. This is so cool. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. Oh no! If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Okay. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. No, not quite. It's gonna be the other one. He's the, or she is the ballerina. Well, that was a shock. I have no idea that the old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? How did she get her voice so low? I don't know. What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. Baka. This is strictly business. No, strictly... Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on the next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? I'm trying to think if I can even do, like, if I can even attempt, like, a female Russian accent. The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now. No, that's true, given that Mr. Roylet is actually a woman. Exactly, he, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. Okay. This is an obvious one. Article about the ballerina.
Yes!
There we go. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's her. That's right. You've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovitz Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovitz Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Dead. The jig is up. Methinks. Oh, she pretty. Da. You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolona Pavlova. I don't know. Man, I don't know. My Russian accents tend to also be kind of like intense. She looks so like timid almost and like kind of sweet. So I don't know, like I could try giving her, I don't know. I'm tempted to just give her just a generic female voice. Or maybe for this episode and I'll practice Russian accent or something, I don't know. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Here we go. A ballerina on the run. Okay. Oh yeah, we still have topic 2. Ah, that's right. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Yes. I feel like she might have smuggled in a pet or something, I don't know. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to lead their eyes astray, you see. And I assure you the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all. it's really, Bolshevik. We had it reversed. Bolshevik is in the case. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes? Stop it. Not gonna lie, it's kind of fun. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. Okay. Oh, that was clever. It was placed behind the chair. Okay, not the case itself. Okay, maybe it had nothing to do with the case. Maybe she's hiding this tiara. The only other thing I can see. Let's do it.
Yes!
Yay! The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. Did she steal it? I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovitz Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in the newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no! Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully, taking their precious tiara with you. She's like, whoops-a-doodles. I have no one. no family, no friends. I am all alone and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia? It belongs to me. I'll have to give her like a slight Russian accent. Like, I'll probably just speak normally, but I'll, you know, we'll see. This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Aww, poor girl. Alright, I will tell you everything. There's no point in hiding it now. Come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it remained closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? I think it's Pavlova. I think I'm putting the emphasis wrong. My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your luck case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. I have no idea what that word means. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the books on the shelf. He's completely changed tact with his deduction now. Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense. His original deduction was that she was in there. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe. Why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true, but still. Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. Then there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree. That's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Okay. Rules of... yep, that's it. A picture. Now, I think we read this. I forget what it was, but if I think I might be right. I think this said no pets on board or something. So I do think she probably smuggled in a pet. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I can examine things first. Okay, I think I read this already. Yep, pets are strictly forbidden. Oh, okay. There was exactly the same notice in our cabin too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules. Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment would be severe, Naruhodo-san. You'd probably be left adrift in the freezing cold ocean. Or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end. So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I? Interesting, I didn't realize you could examine things. I wonder if I should have been doing that to get fluff text. This is a charming little picture, isn't it? What is it? Someone climbing a steep mountainside? Or a descending one, it seems to me. When you've been on the flat sea for a while, maybe you start seeing hills and mountains and everything. Yeah, I haven't been doing that, but I will from now on. Ah, it looks like these are all the same books that we have in our cabin. I suppose the steward likes to make sure passengers have plenty to read for the long voyage. And have you noticed how all the books have fallen over? Just like in Kazuma-sama's cabin? It's almost like someone's taken a sweep at them. Maybe Miss Pavlova? While she was practicing her ballet? Anyway, the point is, we don't have time to look through all these books at the moment. We couldn't even if we wanted to. They're all in Russian. Well, that's a relief. Let's try our luck elsewhere. Okay, I think all that's left is the door. And then... It's a metal door, the same as in Kazuma's cabin. Yes, and the rather slim vault is the same as well. Well, if Miss Pavlova was actually glancing over at the door here instead of the bookcase, that would suggest a desire to run away from this cabin. Maybe. Okay, so let's go for it.
Yes!
Yep. You smuggled a pet, didn't you? Yes, the reason why you refused to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside the case of yours is something forbidden from carrying on this vessel. That is the real reason why I refused to open it, thus revealing its contents. Oh, that was her. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet. Ah! We got you. The jig is up again. And there we go. Possession of a prohibited animal. That's a lot less serious than our original theory. Deduction complete. Elementary, my dear Ryunosuke. I love it. Oh, that was so much fun. So clearly you aren't who you said you were. No, I am not Grimmy Roylet. My real name is Nikolona Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. The Borea is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could you really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Guilty as charged. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? I mean, I would imagine it was her, unless it was the dog. The pet. That variable tinkling of a bell. Why none other than the young lady, naturally? More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. The question is, why did she scream? I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself, so no one would recognize me. That's hard. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man, I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw it in the newspaper. Right on the page, there is a picture of me. I was so frightened. I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they wouldn't find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? I'm not sure anymore. There's just one thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? I want to see the cute pet. You were right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell it anyone. Anyone. If the captain finds out. If you say to any of the crew. Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night. I will do that. Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something Mr. Sholmes' great deduction? Sure. It was certainly something, yes. It was completely wrong, but you know. I helped him in the end. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists. Oh, are they back on? Ah, dang it. Ah, your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. Grr. When and why? There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say. It can't be helped at the moment. Can't it? Really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really is. Was. I think this is a good place to end. I don't know how much longer is left. It's like it's always a toss up, you know. I don't want to end this and then like there's 10 minutes left, but I figure I still have the room to examine. Like I haven't looked at any of this room yet. So now I should be able to examine everything in the room. I have to talk to her. You know, present her stuff, you know. This seems to still be a bit more at least, even if the next episode ends up being a bit shorter. I mean, if it's like 20 minutes long and then the episode ends, I'll keep going, of course, but I just don't know how much is left, and this seems like a good stopping point. So yeah, that was fun. That little deduction thing. It's funny because this guy who's supposed to be this great detective is kind of not. I expected him to be like kind of like the real Sherlock Holmes, you know, just really smart and, you know, going inside his mind palace and coming up with these crazy deductions. I mean, they're crazy, all right, but in a completely different way. But it's funny. He's a fun character so far. I wonder, maybe we'll find out there's more to him than meets the eye. Maybe he's smarter than he appears. I don't know. Yeah, so we've met Miss Pavlova now. Who was really in disguise this whole time. I hope we meet her pet. I really want to see the cute dog. Well, I don't know if it's a dog. The cute doggo, or maybe it's a snake. That would be funny. Because we were introduced to a snake at the start of the case in the speckled band story. So that'd be funny, and that would make sense if they were when they said a speckled band in the ventilator. If they were actually talking about a snake, it would make sense if she has a pet snake in there. So that's all I have to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video or any of my videos, and of course leave a comment down below so I can chat with you guys and get your thoughts on the game so far. Thank you so much as always, and I'll see you next time. Take care and goodbye for now.